let's look at what rounding decimals are. So some decimal numbers would like to put it in a more approximated form. Like this one here, guys, 16.84. We can actually approximate it and round it to 16.8 because it's very close numbers and it's close to 16.8, so I can just make it a little bit more simple form of writing like this. So depending on the scenario, depending on the situation, we'd like to use approximated forms. So that's when we use rounding, especially with decimals, which we're going to be looking at in this lesson. Okay, guys, you're going to remember some important aspects here. Read this. If the digit is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we round down, which means you have to pretty much look at the preceding number, so the number that is coming afterwards. If the numbers are 0 to 4, we round down. Now, on the other hand, if the digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we round up, which means anything greater or equal to 5, and if that's the preceding number or if that's the number that comes afterwards, we round up. Remember the two situations, and then that's all we really need to know for rounding up or down. Okay, guys, so we'll try the questions. Start with question 1. It says round 4.361 to the nearest tenth. Now, nearest tenth is the number straight after the decimal point, so we're basically rounding it to one decimal place, isn't it? But a bit more specifically, we'll put it to the nearest tenth, and I'll show you how to do that. What I'm actually going to use, guys, is a number line like I drew over here. This might be useful when you're actually rounding and you're a bit confused. What I'm going to do is start with 4.2 on this one, 4.3 on the second one. This will be 4.4, and I'll make another one 4.5 because I know that 4.361 is located somewhere on the scope, isn't it? Now, guys, help me with this one. 4.361, whereabouts? Which two numbers in between is it? Well, for sure, we know that it's bigger than 4.3 but less than 4.4, so it's going to be somewhere in between, isn't it? Now have a look at the midway point. The midway point between 4.3 and 4.4 is 4.35, isn't it? And you can see that 4.361 is a little bit bigger than that. So it's going to be situated a little bit on the right hand side of the midway point between 4.3 and 4.4. So it's obviously closer to 4.4, and the reason why I put these numbers, which you've probably already realized, is because these are numbers rounded to the nearest tenth. So it's closer to this one, so we can say to the nearest tenth it is closer to 4.4. So we've approximated it, we rounded it to 4.4, and you can see we've rounded up, and that's because the number after the 10th position is bigger than 5. Yes, that's how we do it. So if we look at question 2, round 2.4133 to the nearest hundredth. So this time, nearest hundredth is looking at the two numbers after decimal point. So nearest hundredth, if we're going to do this, we're going to be looking at some numbers that are rounded to the nearest hundredth. So what I mean is, on the number line, I'm going to put 2.40 to start with, and then 2.41, 2.42, and 2.43, because these are numbers that are put in the nearest hundredth form. And I want to know whereabouts that is closer to on this number line. So which hundredth number is it closer to? So 2.4133 is bigger than 2.41 but less than 2.42, so it's in between this boundary here. Now, the midway point in between here is 2.415, isn't it, guys? So is it bigger than 5 or less than 5? The midway point, I mean. Because it's 2.413, it's going to be situated over here, which is a little bit less than 5, the midway point, isn't it? So this one is closer to the nearest hundredth, 2.41, isn't it? So that's what we're going to be rounding it to, 2.41. And as you can see, guys, the number after the hundredth point, the number that's preceding that hundredth position, is less than 5, which is 3. So that's why we kind of round down. That's also another way you can think of it. And you can clearly see on the number line as well. Alright, we'll have a look at question 3. Round 3.5363 to one decimal place. Now remember what I said earlier, one decimal place is the same kind of scenario to the nearest tenth. So one decimal, one number after the decimal point. So again, I'm going to use my number line, and because we're rounding it to the nearest one decimal place, what I'm going to do is just put one number after decimal point, and we're going to see which one it's closer to. So the first one I'm going to put is 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, and 3.7. These are numbers that are in one decimal point place rounded. So 3.5363, whereabouts it is located. You can see it's in between 3.5 and 3.6, and its halfway point, it's 3.55. And you can see that this one here, 3.53, is a little bit less than the halfway point because the number that's preceding is less than 5. See, 3 is less than 5, isn't it? So it must be closer to the one over here, isn't it? So that's what we do. It's closer to 3.5, so to one decimal place it's rounded to 3.5. Okay, let's look at question 4. Round $3.61 to the nearest dollar. So we round to the nearest dollar. So dollars, there's no decimal point. The nearest dollar, yeah? So I'm going to just start with $2, $3, $4, and then $5. Yes? So we want to see which dollar it is closer to. Now 3.61, can you guys spot whereabouts it's located? You can see it's in between $3 and $4, but you can see that 3.61, because the midway point is 3.5 and this is 3.6, it's bigger, slightly bigger. So it's more towards the right hand side of the midway point. So 3.61, which whole number is it closer to? This one, isn't it? So the approximation is going to be $4 to the nearest dollar.